Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Special guest today is Mike Brown, inductee for the Hall of Fame in 2018. Congratulations.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it and appreciate you having me on.
Well, you know, I said it earlier. I said, you know, you've had a great run, but you're still running. You're still going on a daily basis with what your passion and dream about basketball.
Yeah, not as fast though. Kind of slowing down a little bit with the two new knees I have. They're working well though, so yeah.
Well, let's kind of go back, talk about Mike Brown. I mean, how did you get, the Reader's Digest, how did, just start back to how we got to today?
Well, if you want to go way back.
Let's go back. Let's go.
It was probably 1967, and I was a senior at UNM, and I was studying political science, trying to get into pre-law, and a friend of mine called me up from South Broadway, Father Prieto, who was a parish priest down on South Broadway at St. Francis Xavier, and he said, Mike, I need somebody to help us with these kids down here. I need to help teach PE and coach the athletics, and I've got a good news for you. He said, $25 a month is what your salary would be. So I said,
so you
okay.
jumped on that, huh?
Yeah, I jumped on it, and I was able to jump in there, and it kind of got me hooked. The kids were needy, and
now was it basketball that you were doing, or was it all?
Yeah, it was all of them. We had a flag football team, and we had a basketball team, baseball and track, and kids were decent. They were competitors. I had a kid named Ernest Jenkins on the team who went on to Albuquerque High and played for Coach Holzman, and so that got me started. And so the next year, I got a job at Holy Ghost, the school that I had gone to during my younger years. And so I coached there for 4 4 years, coached everything, taught PE, worked on my master's at UNM. And then a friend of mine, Bud Kean, had an opening. Bud was a coach at Bernalillo, worked for Henry Sanchez. So I went over there and taught English and helped Bud with basketball for a year. And then the academy opened up, so I got the job there.
Going back to the Henry Sanchez, what a legend. I mean, myself, as I was growing up, that's all, his name was always one of the top notch and top people in the basketball community.
Yeah, he was a great coach, Hall of Fame coach, won state championships, and then I worked with Bud Kean, who was a good friend of mine. We played softball together, and Bud was kind of an old timer, coached at St. Mary's, and Belen, and he'd been at Bernalillo for a while, and so there was an opening there, so he got me on with him. And so I worked with him for a year. He was quite an inspiration to me.
So you started the academy. What do you remember what year that is? About
1974.
that was my year I graduated.
Yeah, I remember you playing.
So
the Clovis Wildcat, right?
And then it was, I come up here to UNM, and it just seems like after I graduate from UNM, it just seemed like that's when the legend, the history, the thing about Mike Brown just kind of built. And when you started, what was your thinking process as a young coach coming in what was you trying to accomplish?
Well, I was lucky, very fortunate to get onto the academy. And a friend of mine, a coach, probably pretty popular coach, a popular player I know who played at Sandia, where you went to, you didn't go, you coached at Sandia.
I coached at Sandia.
Yeah. His name was Lou Bedoin, and Lou was a member of the 1966 Texas Western National Championship team, played against Kentucky. Well, Lou had just gotten the job at the academy. He was a JV coach, and he got the job. And so I knew Lou through the parochial league, and so he asked me if I wanted to come on and coach with him. So I coached with him for 2 years, and got to know a little bit of the ropes and stuff. And I was his JV assistant coach, assistant varsity coach, and then Coach Cordova, Vince Cordova, got the job at the academy, and I was fortunate because he let me just do everything. We would spend time together preparing film, and then he'd let me coach the boys. So it was really quite a good experience for me.
Well, when I'm looking at that, you had good mentors starting you, and starting the program. I mean, all of a sudden, you kind of had an impact of making it. Basketball's always been big in New Mexico, but you made academy all of a sudden. What prompted? How did that all occur? Because students had to come in. It's not like they had to pay to get in, but you seemed to get a good crop of people coming over a period of over 10 or 12 years.
Yeah, well, it was a very competitive academic environment. Tuition's pretty stout there, and I had good backing from the administration, Joe Armijo, but there was never any pressure to win. It was just provide the kids with a good experience. Hopefully you'll do well, and I had these goals in mind that we wanted to compete against the highest level competition, and so we wanted to build a program to play as many 4A schools as possible that would round out our schedule other than our district teams. And so I wanted to do that, get a little success, and start to build. And that's kind of what happened. We got lucky. It took us 3 years before we got to state. And then when we got to state, we started fielding, the benefits of the fruit of the labor, so to speak, was really good. We started getting success, and it got contagious. So.
Well, Mike, we're going to go to the Dream Style Top 10 Plays of the Week. We're going to come back and talk more about Academy High School basketball.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
Going 5 points opening half. A long three for Sutphin off the window. His debut with the B-52s. Shot on and scored. Here comes Ramos, and he uses his three yet. Chavez on the layup, yes, counted and one. Get here. Shoot on the drive, he dribbles through and he gets the roll.
Yeah, I mean,
They get into the front court. Crawford,
Yes, he
Marcus
get a
on the
layup.
drive. Sutphin gonna lay it all the way in down Main Street. And a timeout for Sean Jimenez. If he was more aggressive, and the hammer for Jalen Munn.
Look at this backdoor cut.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back to the Steve Davis Show. We've got Mike Brown, the 2018 New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame inductee, and I did that better than the first time.
Yeah, just practice.
There's a little practice there. Came with a little bit more enthusiasm. So, you know, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, when you hits home that you get that phone call that you're in the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, what an honor! It's just to be considered, even to be nominated, is just a great honor, and then to get chosen. And I know that there's a process, and I know that it takes a while, and you have to pay your dues. But I'm honored. They're great. A lot of fantastic people who are in the Hall of Fame, and so I've been hearing from one of the best things is I've been hearing from a lot of people, former players and friends, and I was telling one of my coaches at Academy, Mike Nadler, I said, when I retired, I just want to kind of like bask in the anonymity of retirement, just kind of cool it, but I know that this is something that means a lot to a lot of people, so it's just very important.
Well, I think just, we listen to some of these accomplishments. I mean, he appeared in 9 consecutive state championship games from 1989 to 1997. He had 11 trips to the state championship game and 15 straight years to the state tournament. His career record is 442 wins and 264 losses, and he had 6 consecutive championships in a row.
Yeah. That's
pretty impressive. Those are good numbers.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's you have to be fortunate. The ball has to bounce right. The most important thing I'm going to take from all this is the fact that we've had some, I've had great support and great kids, great players over the years that I still see, that they still, remember all the good times and the struggles, and hopefully that I've been able to make a positive impact on them.
One of probably your biggest things is you won with your sons, and I think anytime coaching, and that's Greg and Danny Brown, which are coaches in APS right now, that's a difficult task, and still win. I mean, that's an accomplishment and a feat in itself. And I wanted to, that's a lot of fathers can't coach their sons and still have great success, and you had both.
Yeah, well, they were pretty much raised in the gym ever since they were little. They'd be around. Part of the culture of the team was to have them become involved, and so they grew up with it. And they were around it, so they were influenced. I didn't necessarily say you got to go out and play or anything like that, but they were there. They saw, they were in the locker rooms, and they got to run down the ramp. So it kind of formed a foundation for them, and it was easy because they knew what I expected, but we were able to separate our roles. I would talk to them as father at home and as coach in the gym and during the surrounding basketball activities. And so they had a passion, and then we had great support from my wife Carol and my daughter Sean. It became a family affair. So it was very positive experience.
Well, you may not know this, but my first experience with your boys, okay, so this goes back, dating myself a little bit, was I would run down that hill by your house, and I would see your sons out there with basketball, and I kind of, just kind of put the two together that you were the coach and the sons. But anyway, that was my first experience with the Browns. I was seeing your sons, and almost every time I seen your sons, it seemed like they always had a basketball, or they were always at the game shooting before similar to what's happening with your grandsons right now. I mean, it's almost kind of like a mirror image of what I saw, almost 25, 30, maybe more than that. I don't even want to go that far. So.
Yeah, Greg would. We know the night of a game, he'd be downstairs dribbling. We'd hear it in the dark. He'd be dribbling, and Danny would follow in his footsteps, and he would dribble down Tramway, with his basketball, and always a part. In fact, at Greg's graduation, he walked up during the procession with the basketball, and the guy who was in charge of giving out diplomas says that's just the way it's been, So, yeah.
I mean, you didn't realize I knew that was where I first knew the Browns was just watching them, and then
you figured, who is that guy?
And then it's funny that then I got to coach with Frank Castile, and then I got to know you because we'd play you in the games, and got to. And at Sandia, and so I got to one time I even got to coach against you. So
I remember that.
So those days were, fun just for me to be part of your history is kind of neat for me to see your success, and
it's pretty cool. You go way back, you meet a lot of people, and if you're fortunate to stay in it a long time, it's like, I get to meet people. Like we go down to Clovis playing their tournament, and now I'm with Volcano Vista, and I was with Highland, and you just get to know a lot of people, and a lot of people know you, which is, it's always nice to be friends with people like that.
Well, you talked something about family. We got to talk about your wife. This doesn't happen without her. What a great person she is, and she, got my heart with the hospitality room at the Academy tournament. That's probably is still, known as one of the greatest hospitality rooms in the state. During our basketball, or Joe Emilio basketball tournament.
Right. Well, yeah, I've been, my better half. We celebrated our 50th anniversary this past August, and totally been there for me, for the kids. She worked at APS. She was a teacher, an elementary school teacher, and so when we had our kids, she continued to work. She didn't take any time off, which is a tremendous credit to her. And then after 27 years, she retired, which is kind of a good payback because she's been retired for a little while, and she's been able to, chase the grandkids around, and they love her, and it's been like we go on scouting trips, and back in the day we used to, when I was the head coach, I believed in going to watch teams, so we'd go all over the state, and she'd go with me, and we'd stay at, the Plaza Hotel in Las Vegas, or we'd stay in Artesia, or we'd stay in Hobbs, and she'd get to know everybody. She has friends in every port, which is kind of cool, and she's been very supportive of all our teams. She does scrapbooks for them. She's doing scrapbooks now for our Volcano Vista team, and for her granddaughter Kennedy, who plays on the girls team at Volcano Vista. So she wouldn't be here without her. I'm very, very blessed, very fortunate to have her.
Well, we're going to come back and talk more about Mike Brown, and also the 2018 inductee of the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Hoops NM Basketball Center is coming soon. 10 full courts broken into 2 wings for ultimate basketball and volleyball play. Locker rooms, a lounge area, a pro shop, and a full snack bar will all be a part of a great experience. Convenient parking and access will make the Hoops NM Basketball Center a premier facility for league play and competitive regional tournaments. With over 9,000 square feet, Hoops NM Basketball Center will take court sports play to another level in our community. Courts are regulation high school size with wood floors and seating for approximately 350 per court. Major sponsors and supporters are being assembled now. If you're interested, contact Dan Serrano at 505-249-7994. Send him an email, hoopsnm@aol.com. That's hoopsnm@aol.com. Hoops NM Basketball Center, a premier sports facility serving our community.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We got Mike Brown, and great morning. It's just awesome morning to have you here. And
Thank you.
And again, congratulations for being the 2018 inductee to the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. And you know, you think about that. I mean, you're still running though. I mean, sometimes I look at you. I think we're still both young guys. Still, when I go to the game, I see you and your wife, and it's like it's something that doesn't get old or whatever. So
yeah, and then like we've got our irons in the fire with our grandkids coming up, and so that's going to be fun watching them. So as long as I can do it, as long as they can roll me out, I'll be there.
And you know what's neat about that is that they play in AYBL and we get to do the games and all the championship.
Yeah, oh, they love that. Yeah,
that was a great honor for Proview Networks and me personally to be able to see generations of people. And it's just not the Browns. It's funny, right. I see AJ Brantleff. I see all these people that you talk about meeting people.
Right.
You just seem like. We know so many people from so many generations, and it's just a great feeling to go to a game.
Yeah, it's something else. It reaches all over the place.
One of your probably friends too is Tom Dragmaster. I mean, he's at every game and he knows everybody when he walks into the gym, and it's from the kids playing the game to all the way up to people taking the door and taking money for the door. It's just kind of fun to go in with.
Tom's an institution. Yeah.
Well, looking back, what was some of your greater moments? I mean, I know there are a lot of great moments.
Well,
off to just the top of your head.
Yeah, there have been
without hurting anybody's feelings or anything like that. So.
Yeah, there have been a lot of games and a lot of memories. I think probably being able to coach my sons during that fantastic run. I mean, I remember the first state championship, and I remember the last one. I remember all the ones in between. But being able to coach Danny and Greg in 1991 was special. They were both on the same team. They both started. but they both were good. So, you know, I mean, Greg was one of our leaders, our senior leaders, and Danny had to prove his way, had to fight and claw and beat out some people. And so he still tells me, well, you only played me the first 4 minutes of every quarter until the end of the game. And I said, yeah, but you were in there at the end of the game and you did well. But, you know, they got to play, and then the last game of the season was a state championship game against Portales. I don't know if you remember Nate Erdman, and he was one of the great Portales players.
Yeah, I do remember him. Yeah.
He went to Washington State and played for Kelvin Sampson, then went to Oklahoma, played there, and then was drafted by Seattle and played not in the NBA, but played overseas. But so we played them, and it was a great game, great win, and my mother and father got to see the game, and that was the last game that they both got to see. So I remember that. They both passed away the next year, but so we brought some special happiness. We had a nice team bonding, nice memory for them, and then I got to coach James Borrego for 4 years, who's the head coach of the Charlotte Hornets, and Cody Toppert also. You
got two NBA. I just thought about it. You had two NBA proteges.
You had two of them, and then David Moore, who played with Nota Bigay. David is the coach or the physician of the Tennessee Titans, and of course you all know Nota, you know, 4-time PGA winner on the golf tour. So there've been some pretty good memories, pretty good reminiscences.
Well, how about your legacy? I mean, you look at how many head coaches that was your assistant coaches.
Yeah, coaching tree has been fun. You know, I've got Dominic over at Manzano, Dominic Romero, and Travis Julian at Los Lunas. Joe Coleman, of course, you know, coaches at Valley. And then Greg coached for me, and I coached with Danny. He's kind of an unofficial member of the coaching tree. So, and then there are probably some more. I don't know. You know, the memory's kind of going, but so you know, that's been kind of cool.
No, it's been interesting because when you look, your basketball style of play still, you know, I look at the warm-ups and people are still doing some of the warm-ups that you did,
right?
You know, 25, 30, 40 years ago, and that's got to be, basketball hasn't changed that much because it still goes back to fundamentals.
Yeah, we still have some of the same drills, some of the same plays. I'll mention to Greg, well, we ran this when you were playing. Why don't we look at it? And you know, we used to run stuff over at Highland. You know, so yes, a lot of the same things are happening.
How about sharing a state championship, being the assistant coach with your son as the head coach?
Oh, that would be a dream. That would be a dream. You know, we've got a chance this year. Our district is loaded, and you know, we've had two lucky wins against Cleveland. I mean, last second plays.
No, I don't have to tell me. I was right there. I was like, I don't know how you.
And you know what's funny? The first time we played Cleveland, you know, Greg puts me in charge of the last second plays. So I mean, we've got a lot of the same ones in that we used, you know, when he was playing. But it's hard. You don't really get a chance to use them too often. So we're playing Cleveland, and there's like 3 seconds left on the clock, and we're lined up, and the Cleveland kid misses the first free throw. We don't have any timeouts left, and so we're going to run UTEP, and which means we put our big post guy, Cesar Madrid, down on the free throw line. Two guys break up and go to the corners, but he has to miss this free throw, and there's 3 seconds left, you know, so it's like, oh. So the Cleveland kid misses the free throw. One of our post guys gets it and throws it all the way down in the air, and they tip it over to Jaquan Hill, our freshman, and he's got the ball, and he's like, whoa, and he shoots it, and it front rims it, and it doesn't go in. But I mean, just to be able to run that play, you know, it's kind of like, wow, we almost did it, you know. So it was kind of neat.
Well, Mike, we had to come to an end, and I want to thank you for coming on. Thanks, congratulations on, you know, the 2018 New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, and being an inductee, and what an honor. But thanks for coming on the Steve Davis Show.
Thank you very much, Steve. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.